Good morning again. I'm Roy Kamphausen, President of the National Bureau of Asian Research, or NBR. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to the inaugural Pacific Security Forum brought to you by NBR. At the National Bureau of Asian Research, we're convinced that power, risk, and opportunity are concentrating in the Asia Pacific, making it the most consequential region of the world in the 21st century. We tackle the most critical public policy issues there to enable decision makers to be better informed because the decisions they make matter and the stakes are so high. With our founding headquarters here in Seattle and with a dynamic Washington, D.C. office, we're uniquely positioned to speak to policymakers in both government and industry. As we say, we are the nation's Asia policy think tank. Today we gather to address some of the most pressing national security issues of our time by tackling head-on the challenges facing the dynamic and diverse Indo-Pacific landscape. These challenges include China's rise and threats to the U.S.-led order, the Russia-North Korea nexus, maritime security and freedom of navigation, the security implications of a shifting geoeconomic landscape, and much more. Our goal is to advance the interests of the United States and its allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific and demonstrate the importance of the Pacific Northwest to the accomplishment of U.S. national security interests. Helping us navigate this array of topics today are an assembly of distinguished scholars and practitioners from the United States and the region, policymakers in Congress, diplomatic representatives, and senior military leaders. We're in for a fantastic day, I think. As we begin, allow me to extend my warmest greetings to all of you, our distinguished guests, experts, and participants who've traveled from near and far to join us here at Bell Harbor International Conference Center. Your presence underscores the importance that we work together, share knowledge, and develop strategies to achieve a more secure region and ensure the safety and prosperity of our nations and citizens. In this spirit, I ask you each to actively participate, to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and most importantly, to share your own expertise and experiences. Let us draw upon the wealth of knowledge in this room and collectively chart a course towards a continued free, open, and secure Indo-Pacific that's prosperous for us all. I would especially like to acknowledge the Pacific Security Forum's lead sponsor this year, the Long and Kimmy Nguyen Family Foundation. Long is on our board of directors at NBR, and in addition to their tremendous support of us as an organization, the work of their foundation provides extensive educational and humanitarian support for Vietnamese and American communities. They're a remarkable couple. They personify the American dream in many ways. Unfortunately, Long and Kimmy could not be with us here today, but we're grateful for their profound support to make this event possible. Once again, I express my gratitude to each of you for your presence here today. May our deliberations be fruitful, our exchanges meaningful, and our bonds of partnership enduring. Thank you. Before we begin, and as we await Congressman Adam Smith, I'd like to invite Jonathan Roberts, a member of NBR's Board of Directors, to say a few words of welcome. Jonathan.
Thank you, Roy. I want to thank you for being here. If you're from Seattle, you know this is the last nice day for about 4 months, so enjoy it. And if you're not from Seattle, take a look around and return sometime in August. So it's fabulous to have you here. So on behalf of NBR and the board, I want to welcome you. I want to acknowledge fellow board member Admiral Greenert and our founder, one of our co-founders, Dr. Rich Ellings. So we're all just so thrilled to have you. And of course, under the capable leadership of Roy. So you've got a great day. And I also want to acknowledge Jerome, who coordinated and organized this conference. So thank you to Jerome. And while I'm talking about my friends, Nadej and Aaron, and my invitation to you is to get to know all these people better and to engage in NBR both today and for the duration, because it matters. NBR was founded on the premise that focusing on a region and bringing together a wide range of expertise can give us insights to help us solve problems that we couldn't solve otherwise. In the last 10 years, they did the groundbreaking work on IP theft. They wrote the IP Commission report. That changed the dialogue vis-a-vis our relationship with China. They did the first and most in-depth work on the South China Seas. 5 years ago, they did groundbreaking work on the relationship between Russia and China that we're seeing manifest today. Nadej is the foremost expert on the Belt and Road Initiative. And so this group has played a pivotal role. I think it's meaningful that we're here on the 40th anniversary of Senator Scoop Jackson's passing. He was one of the founders and inspirations of NBR, and him and Slade Gordon, which I think represents this beautiful bipartisan citizens of the world approach to these issues. But our time has never been more perilous. We not only need a compass, because I certainly don't have a clear view of where we're going, but we need radar. What the heck else is out there? What's transiting back and forth in front of us and behind us? And we need sonar. There's tons of things that we don't see nor understand. That is the intent of NBR, to help us navigate these things. I believe that the best book Walter Isaacson ever wrote was The Wise Men, about how this group of individuals formulated the Truman Doctrine and helped navigate us through the Cold War. And the fact of the matter is, we're off the map. We're off a doctrine. We're off a framework. We're in perilous times. So I'm a huge Stephen Covey fan, right? My kids, basically revolted when I had them listen to it on a minivan trip. But the quadrant of urgent and non-urgent, important, non-important, right? We've all seen that map. And I think it is fair to say that my distant observation, and I say this more comfortably without Congressman Smith here, our political dialogue from where I sit looks like a circular breathing primal scream. Not helpful. We seem to continually be in crisis. Planning and thinking is in the important, non-urgent category. That is what happens at NBR. That is what's happening in this room. So I want to leave you with two constructs. So just in way of background, I'm an old Microsoft guy. As I like to say, I helped build the monopoly, not abuse it. And then spent 20 plus years as a venture capitalist. I'm a semi-reformed capitalist. And I've thought a lot about strategy, thought a lot about building companies and achieving market share. And so I don't have a deep expertise on the topics that you're talking about today. But I do think there are two paradigms that are helpful. The first are the keys to a winning strategy. A winning strategy has 3 points. You own the future by aligning with key trends. You win if people move from if to win, if you seem inevitable. So when I had the Windows NT business going against Solaris and various forms of Unix, IBM, I said, listen, they're betting against the power of the microprocessor, Moore's Law, and they're betting against the PC economy. We may not be better today, but who's going to win? Who's going to align with key trends? What is inevitable? As Wayne Gretzky would say, can you skate to where the puck is going? Now, part of what needs to happen is, what are those trends? What are the things that are happening that are somewhat inevitable? What are the motions? What is going on? Where is the puck going? That's what we have to figure out today. The second part of a winning strategy is have a place to start today. Have something to do today. So in sales, it's all well and good to own the future, but if I can't sell you something, it's just not very helpful. I give business school lectures on companies that have failed, that they own the future, but they don't have a place to start today. What is our point of engagement today? The third part of a winning strategy is how do you get between the 2 points? How do you get between the future and your engagement today? In business, that involves partnerships. That involves channels. That involves building ecosystems. That involves getting lots of people invested in what you're doing. And another small business observation is it's nice to sell the needs versus wants. Oh, the congressman's here. So now you've just cut my speech by 5 minutes. But that's critical. And so when you're thinking about it, think about bringing each of those pieces together today. What's the future? Where are we going? What's our immediate point of engagement? And how do we connect those 2 dots? The last paradigm that's part of a great strategy is easy to remember. Something old, something new, something borrowed. I have no idea what to do with blue, so I've thrown that away. But something old is to understand your history, understand what has happened, understand patterns, understand trends, understand what you're connecting to. What is the line that you're trying to extend? Something borrowed is what can we learn from other industries? It's super interesting to note that every industry is disrupted from outside. Microsoft disrupted the computer industry. Steve Jobs disrupted the phone industry. Tesla and Elon is disrupting multiple industries. They're always disrupted from outside. They're always disrupted because they're taking patterns that exist in another place and they're applying them over here. That is why port cities are the areas of massive innovation. It's not because of the location, it's because of the alchemy that's created when different people with different perspectives come together and work towards a common objective. So, this session matters. NBR matters. We are all part of bringing a perspective to bear to try to navigate very perilous waters. And so with that, I want you to enjoy and engage in this day, and I welcome Roy back to the stage. Thank you.